Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Wiley here. Updates. This week has been a struggle for me. I'm just being honest. It's been a struggle. I feel like that Natalie Cole song, I'm catching hell. Trying to finish this dissertation, trying to get up and just do everyday tasks. It just hasn't been my week. I mean, I've been doing it, yes, and doing the best that I can. But it's felt like a just real struggle. But we're almost at the end of the week. I did code 50 minutes of a podcast episode for my dissertation. I think I've also been carrying the grief of I got a rejection from an article that I really had wanted to be accepted. I think in my mind, the only thing I was really expecting or hoping to hear was congratulations, Chris, accepted with major revisions or accepted with minor revisions. I had zero preparation for no. So to hear one reviewer was like, yeah, I think this would work, but if you revised it, and another person that was like reviewer number 2 was like, why is this even here? It just took me down, like downtown where the lights are low. Yeah, down on Skid Row is where my emotions have been. And I've been trying to get it together. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Then, I had a doctor's appointment today, and that was fine. But it's kind of like whenever you're waiting for transportation and you're waiting in the cold, it takes forever. It's always just too long. It's too long of a wait for anything and everything unless you can get in the vehicle and drive yourself wherever it is you're trying to go. And I was waiting on the bus, and I get on the bus, and normally for me, unfortunately I don't have resting bitch face, so people talk to me. And that's always random conversation. You never know what you're going to get. It can be people complaining about the bus waiting times, people complaining about the cold because it's cold here in Illinois. It's also unusually cold because normally November does not get the snow that we have or the temperatures of it being 18 in November. I don't remember it being that way ever, and I've been here 13 years. But guess what? Just because you never experienced it before does not mean it can't happen. So I'm like, yeah, let it go. It's also Illinois. It also gets cold weather. But I also feel like I'm Grumpy Bear and I don't like anything, so please don't ask me what I think, because I like nothing. So anyway, you would think that the random conversation will be over. I'm also used to the fact that people might ask questions and people don't necessarily tell the truth. Not because they're trying to lie on purpose, but just because you are a stranger. So somebody saying you go into the terminal and this guy says yes, he got off long before the terminal, and the young woman says, I thought he said he was getting off the terminal. I'm not surprised by that. I was at a whole conference 3 weeks ago and talking to a person that I actually knew from my school, and she looked at me and asked me, are you staying for the whole conference? And I was like, yeah, aren't you? She was like, no, come close to the recording device. I saw her every day. I don't know. I'm not out here testing the validity of people's answers. Whether you told me the truth or you lied, good for you. That's I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. But anyway, you would think that the conversation stops there because now he's gotten off the bus and she now understands that he didn't tell her that he was getting off at the terminal. But nope, she says to me, do you like girls? Is that what people do these days? I mean, I've been in the LGBTQ plus, or ubiquitous as they call it, community for a long time, but that's never how I ask people were they gay too, and I don't know you. And I was like, maybe she didn't say that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm also mad at myself because I'm like, where are my headsets? Why did I forget to bring the headsets? So why did I sit here? I should have moved further to the back of the bus. So I said, say what? And then she says it again. And I said, no one has ever asked me that. And then she gives me the face that says, no one has ever asked you that. I'm like, well, you're a stranger. I don't know you. I don't think people owe you their identity or expression just because you ask a question. Not that it's a secret. It's just, I've just never been asked that before. And then she says, oh, well, I like girls. I'm girl for girl. I'm a stud. I wear boys' clothes. Okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that. I don't know. I mean, that kind of like feels like, are you gay? I'm gay. What that mean? That doesn't necessarily mean we believe the same thing, hold the same values, and would be friends. I'm not saying that we wouldn't be friends, but okay, cool. Well, just like me saying I'm black, you're black. But that doesn't mean we, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I think. And I also realize how I think is not necessarily universal, or how other things people think. And I feel like you get to choose, you get to decide your identity, your expression, and what those words mean. And I also hold the reality that those words mean different things. And maybe it's because my history with those words, because I was a baby gay many years ago. So I'm like, and I've seen the conversation online about people talking about what stud means. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not out here in these everyday streets or internet streets arguing with people on what these terms mean. I'm just like, all right, cool. I know I'm an information scientist in training. I get it. But I don't want to get my whiteboard out every day and analyze what people mean when they say or try to tie what you mean. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I just want to ride the bus and try to get home. And these were the consequences, because I stayed later after my appointment was over and I was excited about KFC. Greedy boy problems. I had been wanting a 2-piece and a biscuit for a minute, and I finally had some time, and I was like, oh, I didn't know KFC was open, because most of the KFCs in my locations have been closed. So I'm like, oh, wow, cool, it's open. I'm going to get me a 2-piece and, eat this food and be done with it, because I didn't eat breakfast today. So I was really hungry. All because I wanted a 2-piece. I get asked these questions, and is that what people do? I don't know what people out here doing when you meet strangers. You just ask them, is that what you do? I don't know. I don't even know how old she was. So, and I'm not saying age means that. And it's not a secret. It's just interesting. Interesting experiences. I calling these useless news things that happened to me. Anyway, it's Thursday. One more day to the weekend. Hope you're taking care of yourself. Peace.